Alright, episode 86, and we aren't traveling far from Australia to the island of Komodo. Yes, today we talk about the Komodo dragon, the largest of all living lizards and the apex predator of their homelands. But, where exactly is their homeland? Well, it's actually a few small islands, a part of the archipelago nation of Indonesia. These islands are Flores, Gili Dasami, Gili Motang, Komodo, and Rinca. And when I say largest, it's not even close. The Asian monitor is the second largest, and you can learn more about them in this episode up here. And this lizard is 43 pounds, and with an average length of 64 inches long. The Komodo dragon weighs 330 pounds at a length of 120 inches. So yeah, dragon's pretty accurate because it's a monster. And while they can't breathe fire, they do spit a nasty surprise. Firstly, they have quite a nasty bite, having 60 serrated teeth, and those serrations aren't just to remove flesh, but to insert a toxin that causes an anticoagulating effect, and this is the worst part of the animal. While the dragon is able to take down prey much larger, like monitors and crocodilians, they tend to take one strong bite to a vital vein or joint and let the venom take its toll, stalking the victim until it simply can no longer fight. Can you tell this is the first script I've written in spooky season? Now, let's get into their history, yeah? Being a reptile, this is one of the oldest beginnings, tracing back to the Cretaceous, roughly 65 to 112 million years ago. This is when the Araneus genus first took hold. Most likely coming from what is now Asia, they were one of the few to survive the KT mass extinction. They started to travel across the equator and southward. Roughly 40 million years ago, they made their way into what is now Indonesia. It is debated if the island chain separated from the mainland at this time, but it wouldn't really matter, quite honestly. All monitor lizards are phenomenal swimmers, and even with its massive size, Komodo dragons are well known to swim from island to island. By 15 million years ago, monitors also made their way to Australia, where the largest of their kind once roamed. If you think the dragon is a monster, its ancient cousin, the Megalania, would be seen as a biblical threat, as they reached 23 feet long and weighed, get this, up to 1,940 pounds. Many scientists believe that they were probably mostly comparable to the dragon itself, so let's see how horrifying this animal would be if it lived again, and how horrifying the land crocodile of Komodo actually is. As I've said, the dragons are good swimmers, capable of traveling 30 miles from island to island. So, you may think, maybe land is the good way to go. Well, no, not really. While it can only run at a max of 12 miles per hour, 7 miles per hour slower than the average human, they can have an insanely good sense of smell, able to smell carrion up to 4 miles away, and with an island that only stretches 21 miles long, and all the places that society has domain being essentially a 2-mile radius, you've got so much space to escape to. And don't think climbing a tree will help you. Dragons are very much capable of climbing as well, but as we should all know by now, most animals don't have a taste for humans. Komodo dragons are not one of them. They've actually been known to dig up graves so that they could eat the dead bodies inside. But other than being horrifying, what about culture? Are there any useful bits of culture the Komodo dragon has its big clawed finger in? Well, yes, more than you'd think. For the local people, there's the story of Putri Naga, or the Dragon Princess. The story states that one day the Dragon Princess that lived on the island once gave birth to twins. One child, named Ora, the still modern name of the animal for the local peoples, took the form of a Komodo dragon. The other took the form of a man. The two had lived amongst their respective species, and one day the human sibling had gone out to a hunt. Spear in hand, he had gone into the forest to find his prey. Eventually, Ora and his brother would cross paths, unaware of their ancestry. The human would attempt to slay his brother. However, when he raised his spear to cut Aura down, their mother would appear to stop the act of fratricide. They were then made aware of their connection and found a new kinship. From that day forward, the people of Komodo would care and protect for the reptilian brothers. Interestingly, this most likely is the reason for the aforementioned grave robbing, as many people of the island would effectively feed their dead to the dragons and even see it as an honorable act. While this is the most notable form of culture in a mythological sense, there are still more influences. For instance, the storyline of the original King Kong actually was influenced by the first dragons brought to the United States. The dragons were brought to the US by a man named W. Douglas Burden. He brought 12 of the animals to the land of the free, but most died either on their way there or in the States quickly after. A friend of Burden, a man named Marin C. Cooper, would be influenced by the sudden death of the animals being introduced to, quote-unquote, civilization. This was California, after all. This is where King Kong's transportation and death in New York comes from. Interestingly, Cooper also wanted to have King Kong fight a Komodo dragon in the movie, but due to budget restrictions, had to be scrapped. And thank God, because there's no special effects in the 30s to do this, so he legit was going to have the world's largest lizard and the world's largest primate fight to the death on camera. Now, I have two other little bits of information to bring up that I don't know where to put, so I'll just drop them right here at the end. One's goofy, one's creepy. First, the funny one. The government of Indonesia actually tried to gift a Komodo dragon, a full-size 20-foot Komodo dragon, to George H.W. Bush. Personally gifted, mind you, not a gift to the nation, to Herschel Walker himself. He had to decline for legal and practical reasons, but it was sent to the Cincinnati Zoo, where Naga, as it was named, had lived the rest of its life. Now, for the creepy part. Female Komodo dragons are capable of parthenogenesis. Now, that's a big word, and you're probably a little lost, so to put it simply, they are capable of fertilizing embryos in laying fertile eggs without a male counterpart. Yes, the Komodo dragon can literally go fuck itself and have babies. And for the longest time, we didn't know something of that size was capable of such an act. Now, obviously this is not sustainable genetically, but when there's a lack of males in a population but plenty of females, this essentially allows a female to make clones of itself to pass its genes off to other females, as most of them will be male. So, before we end this, let's wrap this all up. We have a massive 300-pound reptile that can smell blood from 4 miles away, is a great swimmer, can climb trees, has a poisonous serrated bite, and is known to stalk its prey across the island, and is able to clone itself, and it just exists on this planet. The longer I research this shit, the more I realize that monsters are real. Some of these weird cryptids people come up with, maybe there's some legitimacy, I don't know. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the things we know to do. And have a good spooky season. There's going to be more episodes, but I'm really looking forward to it. And I hope you are too. Just remember to stay safe. Alright? So, go outside, touch grass, hug your loved one, drink water, and bye-bye.